familiar words of the psalm. If the Lord does not build the house, in vain do its builders labor. Whenever we look to the interests of our neighbor or the community and serve them, we are, in a sense, God's own co-workers. Let us pray for his help through this celebration, my brothers and sisters, that God will bring this construction to successfully completion, and that his protection will help those who work on it safe from injury, especially this week as we celebrate our 61st anniversary of independence. Together we aspire, together we achieve. So we pray. O God, the builder of all things, you have placed on us the obligation of toil. Grant that the work that was begun may serve to better our lives, and through your goodness contribute to the spread of the kingdom and the building of this city of San Fernando, and by extension our nation of Trinidad and Tobago. Bless everyone who have gathered here today. We make this prayer through our loving God who lives and reigns forever and ever. Amen.
Let's be seated. The Honorable Faris Alwari, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government and Member of Parliament for San Fernando West. The Honorable Brian Manning, Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Member of Parliament for San Fernando East. The Honorable Terence Dial Singh, Minister of Health. Honorable members of the Cabinet, His Worship the Mayor of the City of San Fernando, Alderman Junior Regrello, and other San Fernando City Corporation officials. Mr. Maurice Sweet, Secretary, Office of the Prime Minister. Mr. Asif Ali, Permanent Secretary. Mr. Kiran Singh, President of the Greater San Fernando Area Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Stephen DeGans, Chief Executive Officer of the Trinidad Industry and Commerce, and other of Industry and Commerce. The Board and Management and staff of the Southwest Regional Health Authority. Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of UDICOT and members of the board. Ms. Tamika Charles, Chief Executive Officer of UDICOT, UDICOT Management and Staff. Management and staff of Key Chinona, Presticon and Unicom. Executives of First Citizens and Answer Merchant Banks. Specially invited guests. Members of the media. Members of the national public viewing live on TTT, UDICOT's Facebook page, and listening to Talk City 91.1 FM, I-95.5 FM, and WAC 90.1 FM. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official opening ceremony of the San Fernando Parkade. I'm your host, Marc-Andre Augustus, and to begin our function today, I call on our first citizen, His Worship Alderman Junior Regrello, Mayor of San Fernando, to deliver the welcoming remarks.
The Honorable Faris Alwari, Minister of Rural Development, Local Government, and Member of Parliament for San Fernando West. The Honorable Brian Manning, Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Member of Parliament for San Fernando East. Mr. Kiran Singh, President of the Greater San Fernando Area Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Stephen DeGans, CEO of the TNT Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and the Captains of Industry and Commerce. The Board and Management and staff of SWARA. Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of UDICOT and members of the board, Ms. Tamika Charles, Chief Executive Officer of UDICOT, and permit me to recognize incoming Mayor, Mr. Councillor Robert Paris, incoming Deputy Mayor, Mrs. Patricia Alexis, incoming councillors, former Mayor Ken Ferguson, and members of the media, and members of the Steel Orchestra who's been entertaining us this evening. I'm happy to be here and to bring greetings to the esteemed citizens of San Fernando today, because it's a remarkable in the history of our beloved city as we gather to celebrate the inauguration of a significant milestone. Permit me to recognize the Minister of Agriculture, Minister Senator Kazim Hussein, Senator Foster Cummings, Senator Randall Mitchell, just joined us. My apologies for not recognizing you before, gentlemen. The opening of this first multi-story Unicode car park of the San Fernando waterfront. On behalf of the city of San Fernando, I am honored to stand before you in this final time as your mayor to speak about this project and what it will accomplish for us. We cannot do this without a heartfelt thank you to the Prime Minister, Dr. Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, for having the vision and providing the support for making the waterfront and this car park into a reality. For those of us who know the history of San Fernando and the waterfront, it goes back to the days of Gerard Montano, Ray Diffintala, Adayan Sukaran, Peter Quintrell Thomas, and all those who have advocated for the building of this waterfront. By his decision to approve the San Fernando waterfront, our Prime Minister has effectively put San Fernando on a path to success. And I hope that when the history of San Fernando is written in years to come, that he will be acknowledged for his contribution to our city. Many citizens may not be aware of the competition in Cabinet for the approvals for projects, and therefore it is in this context we must recognize the perseverance of the MP for San Fernando West, the Honorable Faris Al-Rawi. The inauguration of this Unicode project is a key step for users, such as hospital staff and the public, but more importantly, a step towards the revitalization of the San Fernando waterfront and our city. Thereby, we are laying the foundation for the future of the waterfront. This multi-story car park represents a remarkable feat of collaboration, vision, and dedication. It stands as a statement to the government's commitment to enhance the quality of life for our citizens and visitors alike. Our healthcare professionals and patients have long struggled to find suitable parking, often resulting in unnecessary stress and delays. This will no longer be an issue. The significance of this car park is and far beyond the convenience of additional parking spaces. It symbolizes progress and development. There have been some differing views with regards to pricing. After some brief research across the city, I can say at $8 per hour, supported by the security and comfort associated with the space, this simply cannot be beaten. As we open this multi-story car park, let us recognize the dedication of the teams who have worked tirelessly to bring this project to fruition. Our gratitude extends to Unicode, the architects, engineers, and construction workers who have turned our vision into a reality. It is through their hard work and commitment that we are standing here today, celebrating the tangible results of collaboration. With all this in mind, today marks a significant stride towards a better San Fernando, a city that values progress, accessibility, and community. As we look ahead, let us embrace the opportunities this car park brings and work together to build a city that we can all be proud of and to call home. It is with a distant dream to see San Fernando in this light. And now, thanks to our Prime Minister, we have embarked on an unstoppable course to make this dream a reality, where San Fernando can soon be truly recognized as our second city. It was indeed my honor and privilege to have been granted the opportunity to be your mayor. May this just be the beginning of an era of prosperity for San Fernando. May God bless you all, and may God continue to bless the city of San Fernando. I thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Regrello. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly welcome to the podium Ms. Tamika Charles, Chief Executive Officer of the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, to bring us her remarks.
The Honorable Faris Al-Rawi, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Member of Parliament, San Fernando West. The Honorable Minister Terrence Dayal Singh, Minister of Health. The Honorable Brian Manning, Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Member of Parliament for San Fernando East. Members of Cabinet. His Worship Junior Regrello, Mayor of the City of San Fernando, and other San Fernando City Corporation officials. Mr. Kiran Singh, President of Greater San Fernando Area Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Steven Digans, CEO of the South Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and other captains of industry and commerce. The board, management, and staff of the Southwest Regional Health Authority. Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman, UDICOT, and members of the board. My UDICOT management and staff. Specially invited guests, members of the media, members of the national public viewing live on TTT and UDICOT's Facebook page and listening to Talk City 91.1 FM, I-95.5 FM, and WAC 90.1 FM. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the official opening of the San Fernando Parkade. On this historic day, I feel a deep sense of pride and purpose as we are here for the official opening of UDICOT's 5th car parking facility and the first in San Fernando. The facility we see here today is an output of UDICOT's strategic goal of revenue growth through creating business development opportunities. It is with this strategic vision in mind that the contractor commenced mobilization on this site on July 13, 2020, for the start of construction of this modern car park facility. We tarried through a harrowing and otherwise unprecedented global pandemic. Nevertheless, with an unwavering end goal, the target of completion of this car park. From tomorrow, this San Fernando Parkade will welcome its first daily, monthly, reserve, and special reserve parking clients. This facility is comprised of 9 levels of parking for 1,000 vehicles. There are 2 elevators, staircases on the eastern and western side, toilet facilities on 2 levels, maintenance rooms, electrical kiosks, wireless and cash payment system, fire protection, security, and video surveillance. The facility also includes modern access control and closed-circuit television system. The site infrastructure also includes a retaining wall and the entrance, if you know it, includes an automatic ticket dispenser, a proximity card reader, automated barriers, card readers on the pedestals, barcode readers, and a vehicle detection loop. UDICOT, cognizant of its corporate social responsibility to Trinidad and Tobago, remains committed to fostering national development. It was therefore important to us for some element of this project to capture the essence of the city. The mural wall, which again you may have seen upon entering, is 13 feet by 13 feet in dimension and displays the history of San Fernando and its environs. Some of the history captured includes our very own Wildfowl Trust, Petrotrin tankers, the old cocoa, coffee, and sugarcane estates, the train, and other architectural highlights of San Fernando. This artistic piece was executed by art teacher and artist Mrs. Paula Cooper and her students from the Pleasantville Secondary School. UDICOT remains resolute in its due diligence that projects maintain a minimum of 40% of local content, which include labor and materials. In many cases, figures exceed the minimum of 40%, and this project satisfied these requirements. I am acutely aware of the depth of collaboration that went into making this day possible. It took a total team effort to reach to this point. We at UDICOT want to thank our line ministry and Corporation Seoul for their unwavering support as we aim to deliver this much-needed critical asset. To the board, management, and staff of UDICOT, the long hours and hard work have truly borne fruit. The Southwest Regional Health Authority, statutory agencies, public utility agents, the San Fernando City Corporation, we are grateful for your kind graces and assistance. To Key Trinona, Unicom, Presticon, Bankers, First Citizens, and Answer Merchant, To other service providers, staff of all units in the public and private sectors who contributed in one way or the other, we thank you for all your service and cooperation. To all others who may have contributed, please know that this gesture of gratitude also goes out to you. I thank you.
Thank you, CEO Mr. Mika Charles. And ladies and gentlemen, at this point in our program, our entertainment today is being provided by Ms. Maricia Kagan. Let's welcome her.
Good evening, everyone. Gonna bring this one from the books of Marshall and Time of Patrice Roberts, who will enjoy. Celebrating San Fernando. Tonight is your night. It's my world, baby. Do what you like. Why don't you please me? Do what you want with me tonight. Have your way with me all night. Carry on, baby. Carry on, baby. Carry on, carry on, carry on. Wind it up, wind it up, wind it up. I wanna shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Oh, you like that, you like that. I wanna bend it up, you bend it up, you bend it up, baby. I like that, I like that. And when you give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, baby. I like that, I like that. And when you give me all you got and you put it on your spot, I like that. You have me singing 911 emergency, 911 emergency. I don't think you can handle all of me, no. I don't think you can manage all of me. Have a little money in the pocket and I just can't pay. Could do with a little more, but I still irate. So now I'm stepping out to a party. Trouble when I link up with my friends and family. Cause anywhere we go, we mash it up. We rip it up, we rip it up, we mash it up. Yeah, them have to bubble and them have to back it up. Anywhere you see me, they say me hack it up. We just live it, we mash it up. We rip it up, we mash it up. Yeah, them have to bubble and them have to back it up. Anybody see me, they say me hack it up. So I go take a little drink, and I can do what I want. And I go wine if I feel like it, and I can live what I want. And I go take a little drink, and I can do what I want. And I go wine if I feel like it, and I can live what I want. You don't know the vibes is work hard, play harder, work hard, play harder, work hard, play harder, work hard, play harder, oh, work hard, play harder, work hard, play harder, work hard, play harder, work hard. Carry on, baby. Carry on, baby. Carry on, carry on, carry on. Wind it up, wind it up, wind it. You gotta do it kind of social. I wanna shake it up, I shake it up, I shake it up. Oh, you like that, you like that. I wanna bend it on, bend it on, bend it on, baby. I like that, I like that. And when you give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, baby. I like that, I like that. And when you give me all your guts and you put it on your spot, I like that. You have me singing 911 emergency, 911 emergency. I don't think you can handle all of me, no. I don't think you can manage all of me. Work hard, play harder, work hard, play harder, work hard, play harder. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Nigel, O'Connor, Marisa Kagan. It surely has been a pleasure. Thank you. Work hard, play harder, work hard.
Thank you, Ms. Kagan and Nigel. I think that's what I got. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I now call on the Honorable Terence D. Singh, Minister of Health, to bring us his remarks.
Thank you very much, Andre. You got it right. Good afternoon, all. I think you will be relieved, and I expect a round of applause when I say all protocols observed. During that performance, it took me back to the loss that we as a country have recently suffered by the loss of our dear Denise Plummer, who straddled both the calypso and gospel genres. So I think it is appropriate that I extend deepest condolences to the family and friends of Denise Plummer. Ladies and gentlemen, when the history of Trinidad and Tobago, as is being written now and will be written in the future and has been written in the past, one thing and one thing only should stand out. The roles that successive prime ministers, from Dr. Eric Williams, the father of this nation, Mr. George Chambers, Mr. Patrick Manning, would have played in the development of Trinidad and Tobago. From establishing Point Lisas to institutions like National Insurance Board, Unit Trust, the development of this country, whether it is infrastructural development or institution development, has always been the hallmark of great prime ministers, as I have outlined. We in the People's National Movement, it is in our DNA to have leaders that believe in national development, that always put country before party. And this parkade we are opening today continues in that vein under the astute leadership of our current Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, whose DNA, again, leads him to have vision, the same way we had the vision for Point Lisas, the same way we had the vision to build the Claude Noel Highway in Tobago against opposition, the vision to build the Solomon Hochoy Highway. Dr. Keith Rowley has supported me as his Minister of Health in the development of Point Fortin Hospital under Southwest Regional Health Authority, the soon-to-be-open Sangre Grande Hospital, first quarter of 2024, to be opened. The new central block currently rising 13 stories high on the compound of Port of Spain General Hospital. The recently opened administrative building for the Ministry of Health. That is development. And what that development does, it gives Trinidad and Tobago not only an economic boost, but also a boost for his human capital. Dr. Rowley, again, in his wisdom, in that same developmental mode, under Minister Foster Cummins, would have given this country the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, not only to build buildings, but to develop our most precious resource, that is our young people. As we open this parkade here today, we continue in that vein of development. The CEO, Tamika, would have given you some of the details about this parkade. Let me fill in some of the other aspects of this parkade so you will know what we as a cabinet have done. And I must congratulate and thank your Member of Parliament for the advocacy within cabinet to get San Fernando its fair share of the national pie. The letter of award for this project was signed on June 1st, 2020. Take your minds back to June 1st, 2020. What was happening? COVID. But here we are, a mere 2 years or 3 years later, this facility is finished, even with the distractions, restrictions, and delays due to COVID. This is testimony to two entities, UDICOT, whom I want to thank publicly. We have the chairman, Mr. Noel Garcia, here today, and the contractor, Keisha Nona. It took this project 630 days to be completed, and finally completed on August 26, 2023. This 9-story facility stands on 153,330 square feet of land. Land that was acquired from PTSC. And Minister Al-Rawi, see, you would not know how your MP advocated for this project and to get these lands from PTSC and also from the Southwest RHA. As we account to the taxpayer for this project, we must let the public know that the project budget is $132,742,815.47. Yes, the 47 cents is important. But the project represents development of this campus. It will ease up the chronic parking problems that both staff and patients face on a daily basis. And as we move forward to development in that theme of development that is in the DNA of all the prime ministers I have called out, it will be remiss of me as Minister of Health not to mention further development of this campus, the San Fernando General Hospital, which has a long history. Finally, on August the 8th, the lease to transfer the teaching hospital from UDICOT to Southwest was signed. And I want to thank UDICOT again and Chairman Valerie Alleyne. That means they now have full control of that facility. Coming on the heels of that, it has been my dream as Minister of Health to see this heritage hospital, the old part, the heritage part, revitalized. And I am pleased to announce that under the PSIP, we have identified the funds, and under the Ministry of Rural Development, you are going to see in the coming year or two a total revitalization, upliftment, old land. This facility is too precious to San Fernandians and the healthcare sector to leave it like this. We are not going to leave it like that. We are going to be engaging in drainage works, repainting, roofing works, and so on. But the pièce de résistance for Southwest Regional Health Authority is a dream of mine that San Fernando should not be left out when it comes to the delivering of high-quality oncology services. For those of you who use or who know the oncology center to the back of the hospital, when I first paid a visit there on becoming Minister of Health, I could not believe we are asking patients to wait there and asking doctors and nurses and pharmacists to work there. I am pleased to say that the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, the Honorable Stuart Young, and Heritage Petroleum have agreed to, and Cabinet has already sanctioned, the transferring of the Augustus Long facility to Southwest RHA. And as we develop the delivery of services to Southwest and the people of South Trinidad, that Augustus Long will eventually be your new oncology center, where patients, cancer patients, can be treated in dignity. It will also include a palliative ward. So people at the end of life can say farewell to life and say farewell to friends and relatives in dignity, pain-free, surrounded by caring professionals of the Southwest RHA. But before we can do that, we have some development works to take place here. Patients will be decanted and sent to Augustus Long whilst those works are taking place. And then once these development works are finished, then Augustus Long will be transferred, will be transformed into that oncology center to mirror what we have in St. James in terms of service delivery and care. So ladies and gentlemen, in my brief remarks, I want to let the public and the residents and burgesses of San Fernando, not only San Fernando West, but San Fernando East, all the way to the Southwestern Peninsula, that your healthcare needs are indeed taken aboard and they are in good hands. And with the opening of this parkade today, with 1,000 spaces for both all types, the differently abled, the abled, and what I like about it, there's a direct link on level 4, I believe, to the hospital. So employees who are parking here have a direct pathway to the hospital. We have considered your needs in this. So San Fernando, as you celebrate this development milestone, I thank you for having me again. It's for the second time in 4 days. I was down in San Fernando on Saturday at Naparima Bowl for our health fair. I thank you for having me in San Fernando for the second time of 4 days. I thank you for your hospitality, and I look forward to this 9-story, 1,000 parkade being put to full use. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Dayal Singh. Let's listen now to more of the strains of the Skiffle Bunch Steel Orchestra. Bunch. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinguished honor to welcome to the podium the Honorable Faris Al-Rawi, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, to bring you today's feature address.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. The first citizen of San Fernando, Alderman Junior Regrello, tomorrow being the swearing-in ceremony to come, I recognize to his left the next first citizen of the city of San Fernando, Councillor Robert Paris, who is sitting next to a previous first citizen of San Fernando, Senator Haji Kazim Hussein, who is sitting next to Foster Cummings, our Minister of Youth Development, who is right next to Randall Mitchell, our Minister of Tourism, who is flanked by Terence Dial Singh, the Minister of Health, Brian Manning, Minister in the Ministry of Finance, and in our presence, the next Deputy Mayor of San Fernando, Patricia Alexis, the Chairman of the Rural Development Committee, and a particular gentleman in this crowd, one Kenneth Ferguson, who is looking younger than I've ever seen him look, supposedly in retirement, but clearly strategizing the development of San Fernando as he's here today. Captain of Industry, Kiran Singh, because your industry of coordinating that which is the Greater Chamber is significant. Mr. Tommy Chanona from Key Chanona, who is here with us. Mr. Where is he? Anthony Clark, who is on the geotechnical side. Mr. Noel Garcia, sitting a little bit further back than I expected, the chairman of UDICOT. And folks, you may be wondering why, after Father Khan gave us the greetings in God's presence, I'm singling out, protocols having been established, these many people, or several councillors for San Fernando West, Nigam Joseph, Riyad Hussein. It's to demonstrate to you and to share with the nation how significant a landmark this project is. Not merely by the persons who have been invited and who have accepted and have attended today, but it starts with your vantage point. We are facing the serene waters of the Gulf of Paria. You can see Farallon Rock to my right, to your left. You can see the makings of land reclamation, which is just to my left, your right. And standing here on a project that was brought in under budget. This project was intended by Cabinet to cost $140 million. We've crossed $132 odd and 47 cents, that important 47 cents, which represents a savings to the taxpayer. But anchoring this is the fact that dreams need to be anchored. We are here in 9 stories of 1,000 car parks in the oldest colonial hospital in Trinidad and Tobago that has allowed the rest of Trinidad and has witnessed the rest of Trinidad develop. Minister Dial Singh said something that was very true. Previous prime ministers, Eric Williams in particular, and Patrick Manning, saw San Fernando develop. What do I mean by that? Skinner Park had its major facelift prior to the one now done by Errol Mahabir in a Williams government. The last time San Fernando saw significant development was when Mr. Manning saw the vision of creating the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts and the administrative complex, which stands as a tower, intended to consolidate all of San Fernando's diverse interests in land revenue, immigration division, the passports end, land and values to be done, where people have to line up all over San Fernando in inadequate accommodation. But after Mr. Manning had seen the building of SAPA and the administrative complex, development in San Fernando shut down. National development was not for us until the present government came in 2015. I came in, met mountains of plans. Plan after plan after plan of the waterfront, the waterfront, the waterfront. And if you were to ask anybody what the waterfront was or what was the vision, nobody could tell you its specifics. We know it involved some land reclamation to my left, to your right. We know that under MP Sadiq Baksh, land reclamation started with no CEC, no environmental clearance. Nobody knows what the earth fill over there comprises, and it stopped. A previous mayor of San Fernando, a good man, a man whose heart was in the right place, Navi Muradali, Dr. Muradali, started a waterfront involved and a few umbrellas. But nobody could speak to a defined vision for San Fernando. And the vision for San Fernando matters. Why? San Fernando has one of the best performing academic basins in the country. San Fernando was the starting point of the chamber that is now the energy chamber. San Fernando was the heartland of Petrotrin, of oil and gas, the meeting hub. San Fernando saw the train line end right to my left, to your right. But when the last train to San Fernando came and stopped, and we put a train on the promenade, the only reason to circulate in San Fernando disappeared a few years ago. Because people who catch the buses at the PTSC circulation point do so not to stay here. They arrive at Library Corner, they walk down the road, and they come to the bus and they leave. And what we witnessed as a government was urban decay in the center of San Fernando. If you look at the development of San Fernando, you will notice that the suburban development happened. Gulf City happened many years ago. South Park happened. C3 Center happened. Urban wealth began in suburban areas outside of San Fernando. But if you walk along Pointe-a-Pierre Road, if you come down Chacon Street, if you come down High Street San Fernando, if you walk into the area, Upper Hillside, Lower Hillside, Carib Street, San Fernando has not changed in its look and feel for 40 years. Who could remember a vibrant Mucurapo Street? Who has pride in the market of San Fernando? What happened to our cinemas? Who knows that the wharf, as it's called, is Plaza San Carlos, the King's Wharf? Plaza San Carlos is to your right. Plaza San Carlos has historical monuments, Thorpe's Garage, the old railway center. Who in their right mind in 2015 would take a loving walk with their wife or husband, holding hands, starting at the Labas, holding your beloved hand, walking down the beautiful, safe promenade of a two-lane passageway with no lighting, coming along to the fishing port that has a sign on it that says 1924. It's exactly 99 years old. Right there. To then have a lovely dinner on the wharf in the security and company of loved ones. Who in their right mind? So San Fernando got its new MP, got its new Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, got the government. And in entering into government in 2015, in 2016, what were we met with? A wonderful 96% loss in oil and gas revenue. We went from $21 billion in oil and gas revenue to $800 million. We then had to face Petrotrin restructuring, lose $2.7 billion a year, with a hard decision with watching 4,000 employees at work, or restructure. But how do we, in the face of that, come to June 2020? As your MP, I can tell you, taking the mountain of plans and developmental positions here, what we did as a cabinet, we subjected the cabinet to a lot of advocacy, i.e. I nagged. Rightfully so, my cabinet, to demand that San Fernando's development had to receive attention, but to break up the waterfront into elemental pieces, and by starting with anchors, hence my reference to this spot as being an anchor. We came up with the following. We would spend $1.9 billion in development, and we would break it into pieces. And in the $1.9 billion that we decided, we said that San Fernando would receive a car park estimated at this site at $140 million. So we started off with the vision, to your right, of reclaiming 3.8 hectares of land. It'll cost us $80 million. We went through 6 years of fight with the EMA to get the approval, because you cannot reclaim land without a CEC. And that took us to the fishing depot. And the fishing depot we estimated at $40 million. It took us to the coastal protection behind me here. And that coastal protection at the waterfront is $67 million. It then took us to a vision that if you're going to reclaim land at 3.8 hectares, where are you passing? On which road? The road widening project then became part of the anchor. And that Lady Hills widening project is $136 million. We have, in case you didn't notice, just in front of you, commercial squatters and residential squatters in the middle of the highway. And we insisted, start the highway and we'll deal with the squatters along the way. Because there was a choice. Move everybody, wait for it to happen, go to court for 10 years, go to the Privy Council, or just start building the highway. And we chose instead to build the highway. You'll notice where we stopped. The land reclamation under compulsory acquisition is underway. UDCOT has part of that. As Attorney General in the past portfolio I held, there was a part and coordination with that. But we insisted we would not hold back the development. We had, of course, this wonderful feature in San Fernando, this brilliant idea that 14 acres of prime land facing that view should be a bus garage. And as your MP, I insisted that we could move the bus garage opposite C3 to the OAS Constructura site. So said, so done, that was moved. That 14-acre site vested in UDCOT, just like the fishing port, just like the land reclamation, has already been awarded. Karamat has that site for 400 plus homes. The fishing port site has already been awarded. We're in final consultations with the fisher folk. And I want to signal to the world right now, discussions have an end date. Because you cannot be witnessing San Fernando with a fishing port, an abattoir that is 100 years old and do nothing about it. And as we progressed, we said to ourselves, let us get to Skinner Park. And at Skinner Park, we decided it's not good enough that the renovation works happened under Errol Mahabir with a coat of paint under mayors after that. We spent $160 million on what I would like to call phase one. And I say that because I am agitating the cabinet to build a small car park, 4-story, connect a bridge from Skinner Park across to the cross-crossing, and allow the cross-crossing at night to be a food strip with bollards, with music and with lighting and with pedestrian way. And therefore your waterfront vision goes all the way from Skinner Park and cross-crossing straight down a wide way front, jetty way, a space for scouting, a space for religious activity, a space for sea bathers, a redevelopment of Farallon Rock, passing through a highway crossing, bridgeway for the folks at Embacadere, Ramsaran Street. Because you may not know, ladies and gentlemen, San Fernando is a unique place. If we take San Fernando East, San Fernando West, and Pointe-a-Pierre, parts of Oropouche East, you get San Fernando. San Fernando West itself is comprised of 25,000 electors, 11 HDC communities comprising 8,500 residents and 3,000 squatters. And your government took steps to make sure that squatting was treated with by turning people who are invisible into visible people. What do we mean? A squatter cannot mortgage land. A squatter is therefore invisible to the bank. A squatter cannot deed his land to his children because it's invisible to the law. It does not belong to you. You may have the chattel house on it if you can move it, but the land is not yours. And thereborn was the Housing Village Improvement Program, which has seen us, for instance, at the Marabella train line, replacing squatting homes with proper housing where the title to the land is given by way of lease. And for $175,000, we is it not the same country is facing as a whole of country issue of crime and security? Is it not true? It is. How do you possibly think that crime and security will be dealt with if you don't go to areas that are not serviced by roads, by water, by community centers, by educational facilities, by basic things to make sure your children are looked after and there's a street light on the road? How do you service and treat with the issue of crime and security if you leave people in invisibility? That was not good enough for our Prime Minister. That was not good enough for your government. And your government therefore said, while we are anchoring development of the type that we do here today, 1,000 car parks to service a waterfront to be born, to service a hospital that is the oldest, largest colonial hospital in footprint, 1,000 car parks here to watch the redevelopment of 3.8 hectares to your right. Those large projects must be met with meeting the needs of people. As Attorney General in my tenure, I had the pleasure of amending the Evidence Act. Why is that relevant to today? Because every item of action caught on CCTV camera is now evidence in a court of law where a witness does not need to turn up. I've already started discussions as Minister of Rural Development and Local Government with our incoming mayor about creating a virtually gated community and series of communities in the city of San Fernando. Why? You have 2 entrances into Gulfview. You have 2 entrances into the Marabella train line. You have 2 entrances, depending upon the way you go, into Pleasantville. You have 2 entrances, 3 in Bel Air. You have 2 entrances in St. Joseph Village. Are we therefore not capable of putting cameras at all of these entryways, having virtually gated communities, allowing our municipal police that operate under the hand of the Ministry of Local Government? And ladies and gentlemen, permit me to publicly acknowledge municipal police done differently, as you saw in Port of Spain. There was an attempted robbery in Port of Spain. 10 men brandishing arms and cutlasses went to rob businessmen. They were met by the municipal police. 2 shot, 3 arrested, crime started. Not the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service folks, the Trinidad and Tobago Municipal Police Service. And that is why the government said that local government reform was so critical. Why? Because it is the universe of all of our laws. The public health ordinance. By the way, the public health ordinance is what saved us in COVID. When I was asked to find the answer to managing COVID, we had options. Disaster Measures Act, state of emergency. But we found the 1920 public health ordinance, and my advice to the cabinet was use the regulations under the public health ordinance and we'll manage COVID. We were challenged, we were taken to court, we went to the Privy Council in the case of Dominic Suraj, and we won. Because you have an opposition in this country that says we will challenge every single thing to make sure that this country is ungovernable. A simple thing like protecting lives from COVID, ungovernable. But your Evidence Act, your CCTV evidence, combined with your municipal police, which exists under Section 48 of the Local Government Act, combined with full-time councillors, combined with executive authority, combined with a CEO that has the power to hire, discipline, and fire under law, means that you have a different chance at a better government and better governance and better delivery of services. This car park will fall under the city of San Fernando. The water revenue and investment that comes from the waterfront will fall in the city of San Fernando. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that we have 20,400 people cutting grass in this country every day? 9,000 daily rated employees, 9,000 CPEP workers, and the rest in forestry. Do you see the effect? Do you feel that grass is being cut? After 20,400 people go to work cutting grass, what do you do with the grass? Last time I checked, it's capable of compost. It's capable of being sold. What do you do with trees that you cut down? Can't you not cut them and make mulch? Wood chips? Decorative? All of that is in local government. All of that is part of our public sector investment program in this year's budget. All. So we have been connecting the invisible with the visible, the small projects, the housing village improvement program with the anchor projects like this car park. And this car park is not just the hospital car park, it's the waterfront car park. Where was the vision before? How will you feel coming down Rushworth Street and knowing you don't have to go left or right to get here, you just come across Rushworth Street and enter the waterfront? That's on the cards. That's part of the housing development in the PTSC garage, now turned into housing development. Let me show you how important this is. We just had a local government election. Where was the fight? Right here. in the city of San Fernando. The UNC brought all their might. The PNM won. So after they challenged everything possible and lost, it shows you that they are afraid of the vision succeeding. What we have done differently on this occasion is we've divided it into portions, achievable anchor projects, because folks, the second issue that is most important to the citizens of this country and right here in San Fernando is jobs. On the election campaign, those of us that go house to house, home to home, ever walk a street with Kazim Hussein? Stands up outside the house. They have 7 in this house, 3 voting, 2 in hospital, 1 down. Everybody is known to those of us that work. But jobs are what are delivered under local government reform. Why? Who's going to man this car park? Who is Utica? 24 hours. Who's manning the CCTV cameras? When we take $1 a day, $2 a day, $3 a day in property tax, San Fernando gets $60 to $65 million extra in revenue per year. San Fernando asks for $100 million to run the city of San Fernando via the municipal corporation, San Fernando City Corporation, and they get a whopping, usually, they get a whopping $11 million. We took it up to $40 million because COVID meant that we had to do an extra spend to catch up. If you look at the landslide here at the Center for Disabilities, and you go onto Hubert Rand Street, you will see a retaining wall has fallen. The entire PSIP budget for the city of San Fernando to fix roads and retaining walls was a whopping $10 million. To fix the wall on Hubert Rand Street is $6 million alone. So how do you expect local government to work if you can't finance it? Well, we came up with the answer. Modest contribution of property taxes into the coffers of the city corporation itself, but expenditure using the public procurement law. The public procurement law is an experiment that is a rough one. A lot of things have to be solved in the public procurement law. But what it does is that it allows the San Fernando City Corporation to spend without limit, only subject to the Minister of Finance's confirmation that funds exist. So if you take $65 million, you add it to $40 million, and then you take school repairs that go to MTS, you give it to the corporation because they now have the responsibility to look after schools. You take maintenance of parks and facilities, you take culture, you are now giving San Fernando $135 million when they used to get 11. And that $135 million means jobs right here in San Fernando for people who move from invisibility and people who include the working poor. How many of our citizens say, I have a job, but I am poor. I cannot afford to send my children to school. I cannot live comfortably. How many of our citizens are like that? People throw their hands up in the air and complain. Your government has said, we have a strategy to take us out of that. We didn't talk about the strategy. We put it into law. We back-ended it. We figured out how to finance it. We know how to spend it amongst people. But then you come back to a vision requiring an anchor. So welcome to anchor number 2. Skinner Park, 1. Hospital car park, 2. Road widening, not yet finished, 3. Plaza San Carlos, 4. Land reclamation, 5. HVIP, 6. Rushwood Street, 7. 400 houses, 8. Carlton Lane, 9. Redevelopment of the city of San Fernando, 10. Jobs, 11 and everywhere. Crime and security, virtual cameras, 12. You getting the drift? This sound like a government by VAPs to you? Which alternative vying for power in this country can thread a program with so many realistic points for you? Which alternative? Where are they? Load the matic? Fill the clip? Where you getting a clip? And who you offloading the clip on? Where do you stand your ground in the ghetto? If you're squatting, where's your ground? Where's your ground in Mbakade? Where is your ground in a community that has no boundaries? Folks, we are in a very aggressive development program, and we will not be deterred. We know where we're going. It's the reason why, as your MP, my taglines are hope, vision, and prosperity. We've begun speaking about the San Fernando market, an anchor for development. I'm very pleased to tell you, because they're sitting in the audience, some of our critical thinkers in the ministry, Makesi, Shazim, part of the team, you should see the Arima market. You should see what is coming. Imagine a market where you can eat, clean, food, music, commerce, clothing being sold, parking, security. Why not Mukurapo Street? Why not? Who has dared to dream it and say it? We have a plan to do it. We know how we're financing it. Imagine a San Fernando that is an attraction. Look at the expansion going on at the Southern Medical Clinic. Hundreds of millions of dollars in LINAC and PET scanning and other structures. Why are they expanding? They're sitting on the prime real estate overlooking the waterfront. And it is a signal that private sector is prepared to invest as well. If you put anchors down, private sector will follow. So Derek Smith, Kiran Singh, Udicott, Ansa Makal owns nearly 3/4 of the square at Plaza San Carlos. Welcome to San Fernando, the land of opportunity, vision, hope, and prosperity, where things can happen. Where the Roman Archdiocese sits next to the Anglican Church, where we will redevelop our promenade and have green markets and structures where entrepreneurship and life exists. I have faith and I have confidence in a better future in San Fernando. And with the Prime Minister that we have, who's prepared to let his generals have the chance at dreaming for a better future, chance at delivering a better hope, through entities that bring in projects under cost and on time with no bacchanal, no scandal, no name calling. Well, to me, we have the right Prime Minister and the right structure. Minister Cummings, we're throwing out to him the need to bring in our youth into the pack. Minister Dial Singh and I have been speaking about private sector opportunity in the San Fernando General Hospital campus. All of those unutilized buildings are ripe for lease arrangements for doctors, for dental practices, so the San Fernando General campus becomes a public-private partnership arrangement. Dare to dream, dare to communicate, and vision becomes real. So, ladies and gentlemen, the program says that the Honorable Prime Minister was supposed to speak. I'm clearly very lucky to have stolen the microphone only because he sent his apology. I thank you for your attention. I thank you for being witness to the vision and listening to the potential for hope that we have with a very realistic position. To the Kichanona Group, congratulations on an excellent project. on the novel technology in your retaining walls. Anthony Clark, for your soil nails, because to build these retaining walls, they went horizontally in and nailed it into the soil. Thank you for bringing this through the period of COVID. To Mr. Noel Garcia in particular, Chairman of UDCOT, a lot has been put on your plate, sir. You have distinguished yourself, the Board of Directors of UDCOT, and the Office of the Prime Minister in coordinating. We publicly salute you, Mr. Garcia, and the UDCOT team for having the courage and for bringing so many projects together on time and on value. Ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy our car park as an anchor of the waterfront. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Arawi, for your illuminating feature address. Thanks to UDCOT management and staff for yet another milestone in the infrastructural development in the South and throughout the country. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Thank you, Mayor, for your Minister Diaz and Innovation. Speaker, CEO of UDCOT remarks. Members of Parliament, the Cabinet, various ministry officials, specially invited guests, the South Regional Health Authority, Welsh Morris and Associates, the Furness Group, Keith Shonona, Presticon, Unicom, First Citizens Bank and Answer Merchant Bank, members of the media, thank you all for your very kind participation today. Thank you, Father David Can, Vicar for the Southern Vicariate and Parish Priest of Our Lady of Perpetual Help Roman Catholic Church, for the opening prayer. Thanks to those who work so diligently to prepare this site for today's ceremony. And thank you, entertainers, Ms. Marisa Kagan and Mr. Nigel O'Connor, and Skiffle Bunch for lighting up our space this afternoon with joy. We will now have the cutting of the ribbon, followed by the unveiling of the commemorative plaque by the Member of Parliament for San Fernando West and his entourage.
Are you ready, folks?
That's a whole second. Mr. Garcia, come on. Right, lovely.
Ready? Three, two. On behalf of all of you, because I'm like a seamstress.
So we will proceed now to the...
That's all, excuse. Even though we get a shot of the mural, we get a good shot of the mural.
Tommy.
Right. Gloves. Kazim. DJ. Kaji. Kaji da San Fernando. DJ long before Ready, folks? Yes?
Ready.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Yes, you wanted your questions?
This is TTT. Live for local.